everybody, this is Alan Frischer, co-director and spokesman for Florida Alimony Reform. A lot has happened since our last video update, so I want to keep everybody up to speed. First off, we have put our legislative proposal into drafting right now, and it's sitting in drafting waiting to come out to be filed. In that proposal we have really 6 areas that we have asked to reform for alimony legislation. 1, we want to remove permanent alimony from the statutes and replace it with long-term alimony. Secondly, we want the duration of alimony orders to be no more than 50% the length of the marriage as the default. We also want to have a formula for the amount of alimony that can be ordered by the judges, because as you know right now that's all arbitrary. We want to make sure that second wives' incomes are not counted if there has to be an upward modification of alimony based upon a new income and a new need from the person receiving the alimony. We want to add decreasing term insurance as the type of insurance that's attached to the alimony order, as opposed to permanent or any other form of insurance, because people, as they get older, may not be able to be insurable. And also we want to make sure that the insurance goes away when alimony goes away. And last, and maybe most important, we want to make certain that the order is retroactive, so people can go back who are currently under this abusive order, and the new law will be a substantial change of circumstance to allow them to go back to court and modify under the new law. We met with the family section of the Florida Bar, gave them this proposed legislation. They had plenty of time to look it over, and we have another meeting with them scheduled actually for next week to review it, to understand what the objections are, and hopefully to negotiate certain things out to make the legislation approval process go a lot smoother. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated as that transpires. I'm happy to announce that we have both our House sponsor in Rich Workman, who again sponsored it the last session, and now we have our Senate sponsor, Kelly Stargell. She agreed to do this, and we're very, very excited to have her on board, because she's been instrumental in helping get alimony legislation passed previously, or at least tried to. So we know that she's a proponent. We're also going to be looking for prime co-sponsors, so that we have an ability to make sure what happened last session doesn't happen again this session. Once we get our bill up out of drafting and filed, we will post it on the website for everybody to see. I would ask though that you hold your comments, because as it goes through the committees, there are going to be changes that probably occur to this draft legislation. And we will update you with our weekly newsletters, and we are going to have monthly webinars where you can actually post some questions and come on board and ask questions of our core group. We will be able to answer it that way. Otherwise, we're just going to be inundated with too many questions, and I want to try to be able to get as much information out to everybody as I can in a logical fashion. We also want to thank everybody for the donations that they've made over these past few years, and we want to ask that you continue to do so. Now more than ever, it's critical to get these donations in to pay our administrative costs, our lobbyist costs, our PR firm, travel expenses, consulting fees, accounting fees. I mean, we have normal fees. Our lobbyists cost money also, and all of these things are necessary to make certain that we can get our bill passed. We also want to be able to make donations to certain legislators for their campaigns and make sure they're on board. To that end, we've also formed our PAC, our CCE. It's called Family Law Reform CCE, and we're morphing our organization, hopefully by the end of this session, into Family Law Reform, so that we can address other family issues in subsequent legislative sessions. We know we're not always going to be able to go back to keep on addressing alimony reform after this session, especially when we get our alimony reform through. So we're going to be dealing with other issues like child support, child abuse or neglect, parental alienation syndrome, and possibly even military divorce, among many other family law issues, because we realize that the family law system is broken and we need to help fix it, and we need to do what's right by our citizens. That said, I want to wish everybody a joyous holiday season and a happy new year. Thank you, and stay posted, because we're going to have more changes as the legislative session continues. Thank you.